It's 2 minutes till we go live.
I don't know.
I don't know if that helps you, but I'll put it up anyway. That's the application on the, does that help
Okay.
you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's good.
A little far away for my vision.
Okay, I can zoom it in a little bit.
Well, that's okay if I need it. That's a bit better.
How's that?
Ta-da.
Yeah?
Passed the driving test,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, right? Okay, it's 7 o'clock.
Okay. Good evening. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026. Time's now 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the Village of Warwick, New York Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. We always start with Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. John Greeny,
Yes.
Jonathan Burley, John Prego is absent, Nikki DeLeo,
Present.
and our new member of the zoning board is Alicia Carberry. And we would like to welcome her and thank her that she is going to join our zoning board.
Thank you so much.
Hey. Okay, this evening, you're gonna do the roll
And,
call.
sorry, and Will
10
Frank.
minutes.
Present. You want to do the vote for the minutes from January 27th, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, I do. I say I accept them.
You want to make a motion to approve the minutes from January 27th, 2026?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're making the motion,
I'll second it.
okay? On that one, you'll need to abstain because you weren't here.
Correct.
So I'm going to take the vote of the other members.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3 in favor, 1 abstain, 1 absent. And now we have the application.
Which is 67 South Street, Brian Singer. Come on up.
Join us at the table.
I'm gonna bring up another chair for this gentleman.
Yes.
We'll
Yeah.
have a seat. Welcome. Folks want to introduce yourselves for the record, please?
Hi, my name is Joseph Haspel. I represent the applicant, the appellant in this particular matter, Mr. Singer.
And Brian Singer, and
Hi, my name is John Abrenera.
All interested parties.
There you
How
go.
is Mr. Abernetta interested?
He's interested because he has an equitable interest in the entity that is the owner.
Okay. And the owner is Overlook Drive, Warwick LLC, right?
Correct.
gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay. And we are here on the application of Overlook, Mr. Chairman, which is an appeal of a decision of the building inspector of the village, and I'm sure Mr. Haspel and these gentlemen will explain, and procedurally, after we hear from these gentlemen. I'm assuming they'll be requesting the next step, which would be the public hearing, to be scheduled for our next meeting, so.
That is correct. I was also, not knowing the procedure in this particular ZBA, there are certain questions of fact in this particular appeal, and I don't know how, or whether you take testimony or just take written documentation. We will do either or, depending on what the board wants. I also note that the other person who's an interested party, the building inspector, is not here, and if I were going to take this like a full litigation, which I prefer not to do, I'd probably want to examine him.
Well, he'll be present for the public hearing when it's scheduled. So
That's, okay, so I,
procedurally speaking, we will hear, subject to the board, we'll hear from you gentlemen tonight with the basics, and then schedule the public hearing, at which time oral and written documentation, oral and written testimony will be, you'll have the opportunity to present that in full for the record, and the building inspector will be here, and whether or not the building inspector is represented by the village attorney on that evening, I will advise you.
okay, that would be great. So I will view this more as an introductory
Yes,
and to give you a basic understanding of our position and what we would intend to show you and what we would hope the board will ultimately do. My client has been renovating this particular property based upon a building permit that was obtained after inspection by the building inspector from the time that he purchased the building, or at the time he purchased the building was a 3-unit building. We recognize and understand that the current zoning for this building has a limitation of 2 units. The issue of this case is whether this property has been a 3-unit building since prior to the zoning change in 1988. It's our position that it was, and we believe that we could prove it. As I indicated, the building inspector in 2022,
2023,
2020,
September 25th.
September 2023, after inspecting the property, issued a building permit for the renovation of the 3 units at the building. The
2023.
That's correct.
Uh-huh.
The the building, the renovation did not change the footprint or any other aspect of the 3 units. What was there in 2023 and is the same basic area as it is today. We believe, and we could show, that this building has been used as that 3-unit building since prior to 1988. That being so, the grandfathering provisions of the local law allows it to stay as a 3-unit building. Notwithstanding, after my client spent a lot of money doing the renovations, they went and requested a C of O for the 3 units. And at that point in time, it was denied based upon the fact that zoning only allows 2 units. The building inspector never indicated that he did any investigation other than paper investigation within town hall as to the history of this particular property. When something is grandfathered, it generally doesn't have a paper trail. You don't go after, when you have a right, you don't have to go get a right. So you don't have to make an application to keep what is grandfathered. That's what happened today. That's what happened in this case. So when it came time for the building inspector to give a C of O, the building inspector looked at zoning and could not find anything in the village's records to indicate that it was a 3-unit building since prior to 1988. And accordingly, he denied the application for 3 units and issued a C of O for 2 units. That's the decision that we are appealing, and our appeal is based upon the fact that it's grandfathered. Nothing more complicated than that.
Just so I'm clear, Joe, I'm looking at an email from January from the building inspector to your client, giving his reasons for not issuing the CO. Is this what's being appealed from, or the issuance of the 2-family CO?
It's the issuance of the 2-family CO. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just trying to...
That's not a decision, that's an email.
No, it's an email, I
So
understand.
it's the decision
But
that's filed.
I just don't remember seeing that in the
I
application.
think I have it.
No, I'm with you, I'm just looking at the application. And I just wanna make sure the record's clear, that's all. So we can make that notation on the application if it's not in here, that the decision is from the CO. The
Correct.
appeal is from the CO issues.
I think
It may be in here, it's kind of tough to,
it's not the greatest handwriting, Mr. Finger.
no, I was notified,
and that's okay, I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing, that's all.
I was notified that Friday at 4 o'clock, I needed to submit something, so I drove here from Jersey and wrote that.
I remember seeing it in here.
Okay.
Well, if it, you know,
I just, if
if
it's not in here, it's
What-
okay.
what I
I'm just
will
trying to
do-
be clear on what we're doing.
prior to the,
May I look at that email?
sure, oh, the email?
Here,
Yeah.
you can look at my
It's the
copy.
Boris email to
Boris
me
email.
stating that,
Right,
that they have nothing on file, no indication that the building was ever legally converted to pre-use as a 3-family.
right.
So if I'm disputing that, if
Yeah,
that's
I
what,
hear you.
yeah, I don't know if that's what Joe's asking me exactly, but
So he's saying,
I'm saying that you're disputing that, but that is just an email, and that email led to a decision, and it's decision that we are appealing.
okay.
so you say here, number 4, on page 4, guess this might be it. I respectfully appeal the building inspector's decision to issue a certificate of occupancy
That's it.
limited to a 2-family dwelling and request a determination that the property qualifies as a pre-existing non-conforming 3-family dwelling. That's good. It's fine that it's in there. My confusion came from the fact that that decision, if we're calling it that, wasn't appended to the application. So if somebody can send it to me, that'd be great,
What I will do prior
which is fine.
to the public hearing
Boris?
is I will I'll turn a very good layman's application into a lawyer's application, which everybody will say, oh, the layman's application is better.
Right. So we'll have,
I'm losing my voice.
if you,
It's best thing for,
I mean, I don't know that you need to do that. It's up to you if you want to, it would be, we certainly, as part of the application, need the decision being appealed from, so.
no
If
question.
you wanna just send an email with that and say, please include this in the existing application, you wanna rewrite it, that's up to you.
Okay,
You and your client can make that decision,
thank you.
obviously. and we'll deem it, Mr. Chairman, we can deem that the correct application if they want to supplement it. But for the record, we do need a copy of that
Okay.
C of O that was issued.
So that,
I have a couple of questions, but I'll first defer to anyone, Mr. Chairman, if you or any of the board members have any questions before I have a couple, and then I'm going to recommend we go ahead and schedule a public hearing.
I do. Do you have copies of your leases? How long have you owned the building?
So
Or your LLC owned
I
the
did not
building?
own the building, so can I give a little synopsis?
Mm-hmm.
So my wife's cousin owned the building. Matthew Miller owned it for since 2000. Ran into some financial difficulties. I ended up coming in I didn't purchase it in September. I stopped it from getting foreclosed on. Made an agreement with him, and this gentleman, John Avellaneda, has worked for me for 22 years, him and his father,
Mm-hmm.
and him and I were going to take a home equity, fix up the property. They were going to put sweat equity into it, him and his father.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be his investment property. He was going to live in the 3-bedroom and rent out the 2 2-bedrooms. He commutes from Brewster, New York for the past 22 years. So I've been in construction in 40 years in the town of Warwick. I've renovated about 18 buildings in this village. I own 6 buildings in this village. It was his turn to have an investment property. They've done a lot of hard work for me. Now, he put his money up, I put my money up to renovate this property. I brought Boris to that property, scheduled a meeting before I touched it to show what was in that. I have pictures of what was in that property. At that point, needed to be renovated, so came to the property, had a meeting, so that it was 4 floors being lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Not at that time, because I moved them out because they was gonna get foreclosed on. Matt moved them out. So, at that point, Boris comes out, takes a look at it, and we had a discussion, is it a legal 3-family or not? And we then had numerous discussions about this, that I showed him that people who owned it in 1992 had it as a 3-family. So Benito's Pizzeria, and then Pat Rice. So I have a chain of where this has been a 3-family. It has never not been a 3-family. So at that point, I had a permit.
So you're saying it was built as a 3-bedroom?
No, I don't know when it was.
Family, not bedroom.
Okay, I thought I heard you say that it has always been.
Well,
a 3-family.
well,
Well, if it was built as a 3-family.
I do not know that.
Oh, okay.
So, just researching this for endless hours, back in the 60s and 70s, the building inspector started here in 1967. Back in the 60s and 70s, large family units, single family, because of monetary reasons and oil reasons, they converted them from single family to 2, 3, 4, 5. Just on this block, there's 4 houses that have more than 2 houses on it. So I'm not the only one. And so this is, there was a history of this. Was it approved? It was never brought before a board. It was allowed prior to 1988, the 1967 zoning. It was allowed. This is called a medium density area, and it was allowed to happen. They didn't have to go before a board to do it. They were allowed to do it.
All right.
So that's my belief that this is what happened with this property.
So there's nothing recorded
Nothing
with the
recorded.
village.
When the village,
Nor should it be. That's the important part.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah,
There would be no reason. It was a permissive use without planning board, zoning board approvals necessary.
So you mentioned before that you believe that you can prove it,
Yeah.
and
well, I can go back and have the people who live there in that building prior to, I'm working on 1974.
Right.
So, but I have it back in the 80s, people who lived in that structure. Greg Sirico's father rented for 10 years in the basement of that building. This apartment that we're talking about. So in 1992, he moved in there until 2002. So, grew up in Warwick, have a lot of history with these, and I know who live, the only issue is I'm having a majority of them are deceased. So I'm trying to get their family members.
If you want to,
We have
we're
one.
back, the family that sold it to the pizzeria man, Benito, was a man by the name of, well, it was a woman by the name of Messenger. Mr. Messenger died in 2012. But he has a surviving, his obituary says, significant other. And I got her telephone number and she.
So we're working towards proof farther back. But I would have never allowed him to put his money or my money into this three-family structure if it's only gonna be a two-family. And there's texts that say this, that I'm not gonna fight City Hall, if it's only gonna be a two-family, I'm not moving forward with this. This is divorce.
What
We then
made you
s-
question whether it was a two or a three family?
He sent me a
Instead of
text,
just saying
he
it
sent me
as
a
a three
text.
family. He being,
Boris, the
Right.
next day, that there was a violation in 2012, that there was a three-family, that this was a three-family violation.
and that was prior to you investing in,
Yes,
There was a notice of violation.
so it was
But-
questionable prior to it.
But it was, that notice of violation never turned into a procedure.
yes, and I know what happened with that violation.
Is that violation documented?
Yes,
Oh, it is?
yeah, it was in 2012 that they came and, it was a village employee who lived next door, had an issue with the tenant, the race of the tenant,
Right,
living there. So, that village employee ended up getting, I believe, terminated. This is one of the reasons. So, the existing building inspector at that time, Dan Kelly, came out, and as you see this apartment, it's old. And it's like, this isn't a brand new apartment. And it ended at that point. There was no other documentation. There was nothing, that person who lived in there, he still lives in the village. He lived there for 8 years after that violation. So, he's a local mason who works with me.
To your
I know.
point about documentation from renters, I'd be curious how far back you can go for drawings pre-renovation, just for my own
Like
curiosity.
drawings, I mean, so what happened as I met with Boris, spoke with Elizabeth Cassidy, who was my attorney, she then became the planning board attorney. She said, I cannot represent you anymore. She was my attorney in any legal matters in the village. And her statement to me that pretty sure this is pre-existing non-conforming because of this, this, and this, but I can't represent you. Sent me to Bob Krahulik. Bob Krahulik said, I represented two of those people prior to 94, 92, and it was a three-family. There's no records for it being a three-family. But this happened,
See, that's the thing
That's
that's
the-
going, right, is
There's
that,
nothing.
we went all the way back from what, 88 or something like that? And we keep-
88 is when the zone
Right, and
changed.
we keep going to where there's no record. Every time you move up in years, there's no record.
But the question
Well-
is, there should there be a record?
Well,
That's the
if
real
it's been
question.
investigated at some point, there should be something.
Yeah.
If there was an actual violation, it should have been prosecuted, and it should have been ended. But that never happened. That's the only record that I'm aware of that even discusses this.
And the other, oh wait, go ahead, Chris.
So then the process is, now we're gonna invest into plans. Chris Collins, a local architect, drew plans as a three-family. We sprinklered this building, 4 floors. So basement all the way up, spent a tremendous amount of money to sprinkle this building. Every single document that was forwarded to a building inspector was for a three-family. There was at that point, no other discussion. I said, this is pre-existing. Boris had no issue. Why would he issue me a building permit stating it's a three-family and based on the plans of Chris Collins? So everything was designed and built as a three-family renovation. This was a floor to ceiling renovation. Except for the exterior, I didn't go outside that footprint, which you're allowed to do. So these
Pardon.
guys spent 2,500 hours.
Boris issued the permit, and on the permit it indicates it's a 3.
No, the Boris
Do you have
issues
the
the
building
permit.
permit here, Joe?
It's in there, yeah. But the permit is issued based upon plans submitted.
Right.
And the plans
And
submitted,
the plan says.
Yes.
Yes.
It's clear.
Can I
Yes.
see
Yes.
And that
the building
permit was issued based on
Here.
the plan.
we got the permit.
I'll bring the
I got the
permit
plans.
up on the screen.
Thank you.
You can
That's really
see that
helpful.
right there. You can read the bottom of it.
Is that where it states architect's drawings?
Yeah.
And it
Correct.
doesn't clearly say 3 or 2 family?
The
It
plans-
says,
Well, not on
It
there.
says-
Doesn't
The- the
clear
it
plan-
says
Yeah.
according to architect's plans,
Yeah.
right?
Bottom.
Because they would very rarely say, uh,
So would
we,
the property meet today's zoning laws?
No, that's why we're here.
No, I mean, you know.
I mean, it
can't
may
have a
be
three-family
allowed
in
with
the
a
zone.
variance.
Right, in this
Okay,
particular
but
zone.
at this point in time, zoning in 1988
Right.
was changed from more than, I'm not sure what it was, but it went to
Yeah.
This-
two-family max.
That's yours.
So the building permit is
I
up
don't
on
know.
the screen.
Do we
And
have
then
the plan?
what Boris did for the temporary CO is up on the screen.
Yeah,
Joe, on that?
Just one
As
more-
for the plans.
If you want to see anything else, you just let me know, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to provide
Sorry
it.
if I'm jamming this.
Here's,
No,
I just put them on, you
Yeah,
know,
I see that.
how much,
Super fine print, looks like, right?
how much
This
of
is-
the original
Oh, you-
layout
yeah, read that.
was changed? And did the original layout include the attic,
yes,
which you now have?
yes.
So you had,
That, see, being a real estate investor,
uh-huh,
having experience in this is why I brought him there before, to show that this was 4 floors of living space. To
okay,
bring it up to code, though, I would have to sprinkler it.
okay,
If this was gonna be limited to a 2-family, I would never have to sprinkler that structure.
okay.
Being a 3-family, it does. So, my background is a fireman in the Bronx for 30 years. So, I'm not putting people in that attic without sprinkler.
No, no,
So, we spent a considerable amount of money, my money and his money. This is supposed to be his property, him and his father.
right,
They can't, the reason why I ended up having to buy it, they couldn't get a mortgage
got it.
because it was, they wouldn't give it to, as only a 2-family. Because of his
Oh.
income, because of his income, he can't
So
afford
why
it.
would, I'm just curious,
that's-
why would the
that's-
bank say, not that it's relevant, I'm just curious, why would the bank say, okay to a mortgage on a 2-family, but not okay to a mortgage on a
It's
3-family?
a legal two-family.
It's a legal 2-family. That's
It's
all
a
he would give you
legal-
CIP.
oh.
Indeed,
Perhaps more importantly, 3-family has more rent means more.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, it's more income
More
coming in,
income.
why would the
It's-
bank
it's-
not?
It's easier to qualify with multiple, with more units.
when Overlook Drive purchased the property in March and April of this year, the deed, I pulled the deed, it's noted on the deed as a 2-family home.
Ooh,
Yes.
ooh,
So the issue that is going to be, I'll get to it. Did the board members have any more questions?
no,
You can just see the
Not me.
pictures
You
of
just
what it
wanted,
looked
Kristen,
like.
Kristen, these are the plans that were submitted for the permit?
What,
Yes.
do
You
they,
mind, you mind,
can I,
Kristen, see
Yeah,
that?
so sorry.
So,
Yes, I'm down.
it's much easier in a big,
It
because you're gonna
is.
see the official stamps and stuff
Correct.
like that.
Right.
They have
That would
them,
be helpful.
they have them on
Well, she-
record here.
That's why I'm asking her, she most likely saw the plans, so she would.
So, there was only one set of plans, there was no revisions, there was no.
these are Yeah.
There was no revisions, there was, we had a set of plans, there was a little delay, I got injured in a fire,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I lost a few months. But, like I said,
Which were these? Yes.
being involved in, please go take a look at that property, what it used to look like and what it looks like now. Him and his father did 2,500 hours each to
Yeah.
renovate that,
So-
without
I
getting
know
paid.
that, yeah.
So,
I would have never allowed them to invest their money if this was not a three-family. Would never happen, would never happen.
understood. The issues, the argument that the gentlemen are making is it's a pre-existing non-conforming three-family. What, and that's provided in the code that you can keep using a pre-existing non-conforming use. What the code also says is if that use is discontinued for 1 year, you can't use it anymore. So it's incumbent upon these folks, and that'll be part of Mr. Haspel's presentation when we have the public hearing, is that use, other than the time of the renovation, when the renovation and the building permit were approved, they're gonna have to show to, have strict compliance with the town code, the village code rather. They're gonna have to show that that use was not discontinued, and it was always a three-family for all of these years. And that'll be up to them to show. And then that'll be part of their presentation. So as we were talking about before, the next couple of steps here, if it's, and I would, to move this thing along, Mr. Haspel may want to supplement the application a little bit with the building permit and whatever else exhibits he wants to include with this, and just, as a courtesy to these guys, so they don't have to come back a second time before a public hearing, I think it's okay to let them complete, deem the application complete once they send in those other exhibits, or if you want to make any kind of supplement to this. And the board needs to hold a public hearing and also hear from the building inspector, and these guys can present record testimony and documents. Whether that's at the next meeting, that's up to the board. The next date would be what, July 28th, I believe? Fourth Tuesday. Is that correct?
It's already,
Yeah, looks like,
Yes.
can you get it together for July 28th?
If I can't, I'll let you know, but we'll aim for that.
Well, the reason is, I gotta send out public hearing notices, and
When do you notice have to go out?
the notice only has to go out 5 days before the hearing. However, the mailings,
Oh, yeah,
there's a
yeah.
resident mailings need to go out, so you need to tell us.
And I have to notice it in the paper.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
takes,
that's,
so
it's gotta be
he has-
published
Right.
5 days before the hearing at a minimum. So you guys need to tell me if you wanna do July 28th or the August meeting.
I think we should be able to be good by July 28th.
Is everybody available?
I will be, yeah.
Tuesday, July 28th. Because,
I think I'm back in town for that, yes.
Okay.
I'm almost positive, yes.
so, and we'll need to make, I'm sure Boris will hopefully be available, because he'll need to be here.
Right.
Yes.
I say
I'm in.
bring as much evidence as
Yeah.
you can bring.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure, we wanna give you a fair,
We have to make a record.
you have to
One way
make a
or the other.
record. We
I
wanna,
would love that
obviously,
enlarged
No, I'll
drawing,
bring- yeah.
please, that would be
I
great.
have 'em.
I mean, we're, as I said, we're chasing dead people, just to make it as complete
I
as
understand.
possible.
and
I mean, since we're going back so far, we have pretty much solid from 1992 forward. It's before that, although we believe we have people who knew the place, but didn't actually live there.
Right.
The neighbor to the left.
so you're certainly entitled to,
And we have attorneys who have represented the people who were living there, who are all known quantities in this particular
yeah,
village.
Yeah,
You
just
have-
bring them all.
you will be given however much time you
Right.
need. and given a fair opportunity, and I think just to try and move, like I said, to move the process forward, I think the board is being quite fair to allow the application to be supplemented after tonight's meeting, just to keep things going in the right direction so we can get to the bottom of this. So I would ask that any supplements, up to the chairman here, his approval and the board's approval, I would ask that any supplements to the application be given to the clerk so she can distribute it, 2 weeks in advance of the hearing, which would bring us to July 14th.
Bastille Day.
What's that?
Bastille Day.
You can storm the Bastille over here by supplementing the application and making sure that the board has everything, at least for the application purposes, to consider and to make sure this is complete, so we can say on the record that we deem the application complete. Because right now, I know you were
Right
rushing,
here.
but it's not exactly 100% complete. Is that fair to say?
Okay.
All right, so, does someone want to make a motion to schedule the public hearing on the appeal of Overlook for July 28th at 7 PM, and directing the clerk to issue the appropriate mailing notice to the applicant, and directing the attorney for the ZBA to prepare a public hearing notice?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Kristen? We'll take the all in favor on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nope.
Okay, so we know what we're doing.
Yes, we do.
All right?
We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Do that.
Have this with the number on here.
I know what you are.
I know, you can throw that out.
You got those 1988 or 1992 witnesses, bring them.
Lives in Florida.
Send them, pay for a plane ticket, send them.
Stop.
Last he spoke to Greg Sirico about it, his father's passed, but he might come
Right.
in, say he lived there. So I can get back to 92 right now, where people are living there can write me an email and testify.
Well, thank you guys for coming
Thank
in.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Go. All right, you gotta adjourn.
What's that? Just see in English what I was talking about. They have to show that that use has never been discontinued. The code says they can keep using it, this is 145, 131A, shall not be reestablished, if non-conforming use shall not be reestablished if such use has been discontinued for any reason for a period of 1 year or more.
Is that the reason that Boris gave?
What?
Is that the reason that Boris gave for,
Boris's email talks about the fact that it was never in the records. Boris didn't get into that.
okay.
But that's what the code says. And-
Right.
And he knows it, and they've got a bit of a hurdle. Is this thing still on?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we adjourn and
Adjourn.
go into attorney-client? Do we have any other,
Adjourn the
do we have
No.
any other?
No.
does
I'll make the
anybody else-
motion to
Nobody else has
adjourn.
any other business? Okay,
Who
yeah, some-
seconds?
I'll
To adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so hold on, let me stop the stream.
Just